Hey you guys, welcome back. We're doing Raising Good Humans. Page 88. Look that number up for your message. Your angel message, to be specific. All right. Taking care of difficult feelings. Big emotions like anger, fear, and sadness are inevitable, part of life for both parents and kids. The more we accept and allow our feelings, the more easily we can let them pass, avoiding the suffering that comes from resistance. Pushing away our feelings may be our culture and familiar inheritance, but this is a pattern that we can shift and change over time. When we are able to recognize, accept, investigate, and nourish mindfully our big feelings, then we will be able to be a grounding presence for our children in their own times of need. When I look around at the difficulties in the world, it seems that most stem from people being unable to take care of their difficult feelings. We can start to turn this pattern around in our own families, changing things for generations to follow. In the next chapter, we are going to look at how to communicate more effectively with our children. You will learn how to talk to cultivate cooperation and how what you say can hinder connection. As we move into these chapters, remember that your mindfulness practice is the foundation for inside out change. Continue to practice and grow your self-awareness and your ability to be truly present with your children. Inside out change. So basically working from the inside, and then you will see it externally eventually, right? So what to practice this week? Sitting meditation or body scan meditation for 5 to 10 minutes, 4 to 6 days per week. Loving kindness practice 4 to 6 days per week. 3. TIPI practice. 4. Rain meditation. You can, even if it's not raining, you can go on YouTube and you can search up rain, and they will have videos that they pre-recorded and you can meditate to that. 5. Are we on 5 or 4? 5. Experiencing yes versus no. Experiencing yes versus no. 6. Staying with a tantrum. Let's not do that, right? And so let's see what, look you guys. Where is it? I just seen it. We can go. Listening to help and heal. I love that one. Let's read that one real quick. Listening to help and heal. This is really good. That is page 91. All right. Listening to help and heal. Here's a quote from Della. When you talk, you are only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. Just as I was sitting down to write these pages, my daughter burst into the room wildly distraught. Mommy, I told her, but she won't make the house the way it's supposed to be. And then she took the pieces. Oh boy, here we go. My response in a moment like this could either escalate or de-escalate the crisis. An unskillful response might unwittingly send a host of harmful messages, but a skillful response can help move me toward the holy grail of parenting, where my daughter can manage her own difficult emotions. What do I say? Can be such a tough question. While mindfulness is the essential foundation that helps us become more grounded, it's not enough. Our choice of words makes a huge impact on our day-to-day life as parents. So we want to make sure that we are conscious of what we say, not just repeating the same old lines that we were used to, not just repeating the same old lines that were used on us as children. That's one way that harmful generational patterns are passed down. This chapter gets us started with the second wing to help us fly. Skillful communication. It's easy to be skillful in the happy moments, not so much when someone has a problem. Conflict in relationships are the result of each party trying to get his or her own needs met. The way our children go about meeting their needs may interfere with how we meet our needs, and vice versa. For instance, sometimes my child may have a problem that doesn't bother me at all, and sometimes the opposite is true. So before we answer, what do I say? We have to know who has which problem. This is a job for mindful inquiry you have been practicing. Wait, hold on. This is a job for mindful inquiry. I think I'm messing this word up. You have been practicing. A mindful approach to problems. Bringing mindfulness to challenging moments sounds great. You might be thinking, but my daughter is currently tormenting her little brother. How does beginner's mind and empathy help that? In fact, problems and conflicts are the idea of places to practice curiosity and empathy. Normally, we go into these situations with preconceived notions about who is at fault. We tend to only look at what's wrong with the child behavior. However, making a fewer assumptions can really help. You will solve problems more effectively and compassionately when you understand that kids are simply trying to meet their needs, usually unskillfully and immaturely. But isn't that the definition of being a kid? This week, when there are moments of friction between you and your child, I want you to start to ask yourself 2 questions. First, what are the needs that my child is trying to meet? Second, who owns this problem? For instance, when your child leaves a backpack in the middle of the hallway, you are on the one who has the problem. It's not a problem to your child, it's your need to enjoy a tidy home that is not being met. Other times, your child might have an issue, an argument with a friend at school. For instance, that is not your problem. His argument doesn't affect your life much at all, but your child's need for connection and friendship is not being met. Start to notice whose needs aren't being met. What I say next may be challenging and liberating all at once. Ready? You don't have to solve or fix all of your child's problems. What? Isn't that what being a good parent is all about? No. In fact, if you take on and solve all of your child's problems, it never gives him or her the opportunity to come up with solutions. It's like a vote of non-confidence in his or her abilities. Ooh, that is deep. It's true that when children are helpless infants, we should endeavor to solve all of their problems. However, as they grow, our role change. Instead, we shift toward becoming mentors, helping them solve their problems. Soon, you will learn the communication skills you would need to do that. For now, work on shifting away from the mindset that you have to fix every problem for your child. Start to ask yourself, whose problem is it? If your child has a problem, think of yourself as a helper rather than the one who has all of the solutions and answers. This can be wonderfully freeing because, in all honesty, you don't have all the answers. Take that weight off your shoulders. That was good, you guys. That was good. All right, you guys, we got to practice. Another practice. Practice is who has a problem. So we're just going to do one of these practices, and I'll come back and do the whole thing next time. So the second practice because 2 practices in the whole thing. But this practice is practice slowing down and pausing before you respond to your child. Ask yourself the question, whose problem is it? When your child has a problem, think of yourself as an empathetic helper rather than a problem solver. What is your child needing? How can you help your child meet her needs in a better way? Bring beginner's mind from chapter 1 and curiosity to the situation rather than judgment. All right, love you guys.